The gravel crunched under Sergeant Alex Harlan's boots like shattered glass as he slammed the truck door, the engine's rumble dying into the oppressive silence of Willow Creek at 2 a.m. His heart pounded not from the cross-country drive, but from the discharge papers burning a hole in his duffel bag. Early release after a roadside bomb in Kandahar stole his left leg below the knee and nearly his will to fight. He didn't knock. This was home, or what was left of it after 3 tours had carved him hollow, until he shoved open the screen door and saw his brother, Jamie, silhouetted in the kitchen light, whispering frantic apologies to a shadow that wasn't there. "What the hell are you doing up?" Alex growled, his voice rougher than he intended, the prosthetic leg he hadn't mastered, yet making him lean awkwardly against the jamb. Jamie spun, eyes wide as saucers, a crumpled photo slipping from his fingers to the linoleum floor. 2 young men locked in an embrace that no Harlan man would ever admit to in broad daylight. The air thickened with the scent of stale coffee and fear, and in that frozen beat, Alex knew. The secret his brother had buried deeper than their father's grave was clawing its way out, threatening to drag their entire town into the abyss. Jamie scrambled for the photo, but Alex was faster, snatching it up with the reflexes of a man who dodged bullets for a living. The image seared into him. Jamie, barely 20, arms around a guy Alex vaguely recognized from high school. Tommy Reyes, the kid everyone whispered about after his family up and left when the rumor started. This isn't what it looks like," Jamie stammered, his face paling under the harsh bulb, but Alex's gut twisted with a betrayal sharper than shrapnel. Their father, the war hero who'd preached family above all, had drilled into them that Harlans didn't bend, didn't break, especially not for that kind of weakness. And now, with Alex's own truths locked in the closet of his soul, this bombshell could ignite Willow Creek like dry tinder. Alex shoved the photo into his pocket, the paper crinkling like a death sentence. "Sit down, Jamie. We're talking about this now." His brother collapsed into a chair, shoulders slumping as if the weight of 1,000 unspoken nights had finally crushed him. Willow Creek, this speck on the map in rural Ohio, thrived on illusions. Sunday potlucks masking meth labs, football Fridays burying domestic storms. The Harlans were its anchors. Dad gone too soon from Agent Orange, Mom holding the diner with iron fists and saccharine smiles. Alex, the prodigal soldier, was supposed to return whole, a beacon of straight-arrow pride. But here he was, one-legged and guarding his own gay heart like contraband, staring down a brother whose secret mirrored his own in ways that could either bind them or burn it all down. As dawn bled pink across the cornfields, Alex paced the kitchen, the prosthetic chafing like a bad conscience. Jamie spilled it in fits and starts. The photo from 5 years back, a stolen summer with Tommy before he vanished to Chicago, chased by slurs spray-painted on his truck. They'd promised to wait, but letters went unanswered, calls to dead lines, until Jamie convinced himself it was a dream he'd woken from. Then, 2 weeks ago, Tommy showed up at the diner's back door, gaunt and desperate, whispering of debts and dangers trailing him from the city. Debts tied to an underground network Alex recognized from briefings. A ring smuggling queer kids out of hostile homes, but twisted now into something darker, with enforcers demanding payback. "You let him stay here?" Alex hissed, glancing at the ceiling where the attic creaked faintly. Jamie nodded, shame etching lines into his boyish face. "Mom's in denial about everything. Thinks he's just an old friend crashing. But if the town finds out, if Pastor Hale or those busybodies at the VFW sniff it out." He trailed off, and Alex filled the void. Exile, like Dad's purple heart buried in the attic because it reminded Mom of loss. Or worse, violence, the kind that simmered in bar talk about protecting values from folks like them. Alex's mind raced, fragments of his deployments flashing. Buddies lost not to IEDs but to the quiet suicides after Don't Ask faded into Don't Tell Yourself. He'd buried his first kiss under desert sand, a fellow grunt whose touch in the barracks had felt like salvation until fear turned it to poison. Now, home wasn't refuge, it was a minefield. "We get him out," Alex decided, voice stealing. Quietly. No heroes, no drama. But as Jamie's eyes lit with fragile hope, a knock shattered the morning. Mrs. Ellis from next door, bearing "Welcome home," pie and eyes sharp as switchblades. The day unraveled like a poorly tied knot. Alex played the part, the limping vet charming the ladies' auxiliary with tales of valor scrubbed clean of truth, all while scanning for tells. Jamie's forced laugh, the addict's suspicious thump. By afternoon, the town swirled around him in a haze of handshakes and hugs that felt like interrogations. Willow Creek hadn't changed. The flagpole at the square still flew higher than the steeple, and whispers about that Reyes boy lingered like smoke from last year's mill fire. Alex caught snippets at the gas station, heard Tommy's back, stirring trouble, and his prosthetic ached with the urge to bolt. That evening, as cicadas screamed their requiem, Alex climbed to the attic under pretense of unpacking. Tommy huddled in the eaves, knees to chest, his once cocky grin replaced by hollow cheeks and a bruise blooming purple on his jaw. "Sergeant Harlan," he murmured, surprise flickering before recognition dawned. High school glimpses, Alex's distant stares across the locker room, charged with unspoken kinship. "Didn't think you'd remember me. Hard to forget the guy who made my brother smile like the sun broke through," Alex replied, easing down beside him, the floorboards groaning under his weight. Tommy's laugh was brittle, cracking into confession. The smuggling ring had started pure. Safe houses for runaways fleeing conversion camps and shotgun weddings. But greed soured it. Bosses like Vic Russo shaking down families for protection fees, using kids as bait. Tommy had bolted when Vic's goons roughed him up for skimming to help a trans teen escape. But now they hunted, and Willow Creek was the last place they'd look, until Vic's spies caught wind. "You're not just hiding then," Alex said, pulse quickening. "You're a target." Tommy nodded, vulnerability stripping him bare. In the dim lantern light, their hands brushed, accidental, electric, and Alex pulled back, ghosts of Barrick's regrets clawing at him. "Jamie loves you still," he added gruffly, deflecting. "We'll figure this." But as footsteps echoed below, Mom calling for supper, the attic felt less like sanctuary, more like a trap springing shut. Nights blurred into a tense vigil. Alex took shifts watching the road, his AR-15 from deployment propped by the window, while Jamie worked doubles at the diner to deflect suspicion. Bonds frayed and reformed in whispers. Alex sharing war stories laced with the ache of hidden desires. Tommy countering with city tales of underground balls where flags flew free, no apologies needed. Laughter crept in, tentative, binding them. Three outcasts forging a fragile alliance against the town's tidal pull of judgment. But cracks spiderwebbed. Pastor Hale cornered Alex after services, Bible thumping like a gavel. "War changes a man, son, but the devil whispers loudest to the wounded. Keep your brother close. I've seen shadows in his eyes." Alex's jaw clenched, the urge to confess warring with survival. Meanwhile, Jamie unraveled, snapping at Mom over burnt toast, his guilt a live wire. And Tommy? His touches lingered, a hand on Alex's shoulder, gratitude veering towards something deeper, complicating the loyalty Alex owed his blood. The first blow landed midweek. Alex woke to sirens, the sheriff's cruiser lights painting the trailer park bloody. Heart slamming, he bolted downstairs to find Jamie pale against the fridge, cuffs glinting on his wrists. "Disturbance call," the deputy drawled, eyes flicking to the attic hatch. Neighbor heard noises. "You got company up there, Harlan?" Alex's mind blanked, then fired. Mrs. Ellis, her pie a Trojan horse for gossip. He stepped forward, prosthetic steadying. "Just raccoons, deputy. Brother here's jumpy from my homecoming fireworks." They bought it, barely, but the damage rippled. By noon, the VFW buzzed with murmurs, old vets eyeing Alex like he'd brought the enemy home. He confronted Jamie in the barn, hay bales muffling their fury. "You can't crack now. One slip, and Tommy's gone. Or worse." Jamie's eyes blazed, tears hot. "Easy for you to say, Mr. Perfect Soldier. You hide so well. Even I forgot you feel it too." The words landed like a gut punch, peeling back Alex's armor. "Feel what?" he demanded, voice breaking. Jamie laughed bitterly. "The lie. The wanting. I see how you look at him, Alex. Don't pretend it's just brotherhood." Silence stretched, taut as a tripwire. Alex's world tilted, Jamie's perception slicing through years of denial. That night, alone with his reflection in the bathroom mirror, scars mapping his body like a forbidden atlas. He admitted it. The pull toward Tommy wasn't borrowed light from Jamie's flame. It was his own, flickering, starved for air. But confession was a luxury Willow Creek couldn't afford, not with Vic's shadows lengthening. A burner phone buzzing in Tommy's pocket with threats scrawled in code. Townie pays or boy burns. Desperation birthed a plan. Alex called in markers from his unit, securing a midnight bus ticket to Pittsburgh, neutral ground with queer allies Tommy swore by. They'd slip out under cover of the harvest fair, crowds masking their exit. Hope hummed, fragile as moth wings, through the days. Jamie and Tommy stole moments in the loft, rebuilding bridges with quiet words and held breaths, while Alex stood sentinel, his heart a battlefield of envy and resolve. The fair arrived like a fever dream, cotton candy clouds under strung lights, fiddles wailing over the midway. Alex worked the grill, flipping burgers for the masses, his uniform crisp, smile practiced. Jamie manned the ring toss, Tommy disguised in a borrowed flannel, blending as cousin from Cleveland. Laughter flowed freer, the town's guard down in revelry. But Alex's eyes tracked the fringes, spotting a stranger in a leather jacket, Vic's hawk circling. As dusk deepened, the plan clicked into motion. Jamie distracted Mom with pie slices. Alex herded Tommy toward the shadowed lot where the truck idled. Go, Alex urged, key in hand. Jamie'll follow at dawn. Tommy hesitated, gaze locking, raw, searching. What about you? A beat. Then Alex's hand cupped his neck, thumb brushing stubble, a confession in touch. I'll cover. Always do. Their foreheads met, breath mingling, the world's roar fading to a pulse. But fate twisted cruel. As Tommy slid behind the wheel, headlights pierced the gloom. A black SUV screeching to halt, doors vomiting 3 men, bats glinting. Reyes, the leader bellowed, Vic's right hand, face twisted in recognition. Alex lunged, tackling the nearest, fists flying in a blur of deployment-honed fury. Grunts echoed, metal clanging as the bat skittered. Tommy revved, but hesitated, tires spun useless on gravel. Jamie burst from the crowd then, eyes wild, spotting the fray. Alex, he charged, yanking a goon off his brother, but numbers overwhelmed. A crack split the air, fist to jaw, and Alex tasted blood, vision spotting. The leader pinned him, knee grinding his prosthetic. Harlan scum, aiding a fag runner? Town loved this. Despair clawed, but then, a roar from the midway. Pastor Hale, of all souls, barreling through with a flashlight like Moses' staff, deputies in tow from routine patrol. Chaos erupted. Shouts, scuffles, cuffs clicking on wrists. Vic's men scattered, one snagged, the SUV peeling out with a whine. Alex slumped against the truck, ribs throbbing, Jamie's arms crushing around him. Tommy hovered, untouched, engine humming salvation. Go, Alex gasped again. This time, Tommy obeyed, tires biting dirt, vanishing into the night. Jamie sobbed into Alex's shoulder, the fair's lights mocking their survival, a pyre of what-ifs. Word spread like prairie fire. By morning, Willow Creek simmered. The brawl at the fair, whispers of city thugs chasing ghosts, but Hale's intervention spun it heroic. Alex the vet defending hearth and home. Mom fussed over bruises, oblivious, while the VFW toasted him with wary respect. But undercurrents churned. Mrs. Ellis's glare at church, the sheriff's probing questions over coffee. And Jamie? He wandered hollow-eyed, Tommy's absence a fresh grave. Alex found him by the creek that bordered their land, skipping stones with mechanical precision. He's safe, Alex said, settling beside him, the water's murmur a balm. Called from a payphone, Pittsburgh's got him. Jamie nodded, but grief etched deep. I let him go again. For us. For this damn town. Alex's hand found his shoulder, steady. You saved him. We both did. Silence companionable now, laced with truths unsaid. Weeks ground on, autumn stripping leaves like illusions shed. Alex rehabbed his leg at the VA clinic in Dayton, drives filled with radio static and replays of that night. Tommy's touch, a door cracked open. Letters arrived, anonymous postmarks. Tommy scrawled detailing new starts, a job at a shelter, hints of more. Miss the loft. Miss you both. Especially the soldier who saw me. Alex's replies burned with restraint, affection veiled in brotherly jests, but his heart raced, possibilities unfurling like forbidden flags. Then, the twist, a package on the porch, no return address. Vic's calling card, a Polaroid of Tommy in Pittsburgh, circled in red, with a note, "Loose ends tie back home." Panic surged. Russo hadn't fled. He'd burrowed, buying silence with bribes, turning locals against the Harlans. Anonymous calls to mom. "Your boys are unnatural." Spray paint on the diner. Fags out. The town fractured, old allies crossing streets. Hale preaching tests of faith from the pulpit. Alex confronted the sheriff, badge gleaming uselessly. "This is on you," ignoring the threats. The man sighed, world-weary. "Can't arrest shadows, son. And truth? Some secrets best buried." Rage boiled, but strategy cooled it. Alex rallied Jamie, forging a counter. "Reach out to queer networks online, anonymous tips to feds on Vic's operation." Late nights in the attic, screens glowing. They mapped connections. Tommy feeding intel from afar, his voice crackling over burner apps, a lifeline laced with longing. Climax brewed at the town hall meeting, Hale calling for unity against outsiders. The room packed, air thick with sweat and suspicion. Alex stood, crutch abandoned, voice steady as he wove truth into myth. "We Harlans fight for home, not just with guns, but with hearts. Outsiders. They're us, hiding in plain sight." Murmurs rose, but Jamie followed, photo in hand. Not the embrace, but a family shot, Dad's arm around them both. Love isn't the enemy. Fear is. Chaos. Shouts, a chair toppled, but Hale silenced it, face ashen, his own nephew, long vanished, out and proud in San Francisco. Confession rippled, dominoes of hidden pains tumbling. Mrs. Ellis wept, admitting her son's exile years back. The sheriff nodded, radio crackling with a raid in Cleveland. Vic's den busted, runners freed. In the aftermath, dawn broke clean. Tommy returned, not as fugitive, but partner, hand in Jamie's at the diner, rings glinting subtle. Alex watched, ache easing into joy, until Tommy pulled him aside. "Your letters? They weren't just for him." Under the harvest moon, confessions spilled, no more hiding. Their first kiss tasted of creek water and redemption, tentative, profound. Willow Creek didn't transform overnight. Prejudices lingered like frost, but cracks let light in, support groups in the church basement, flags at half-mast for lost sons. The Harlans stood taller, brothers bound by scars and secrets shared. Alex enlisted part-time at the VA, counseling vets with burdens like his, while Jamie and Tommy built a life, adoptions whispered for the kids they'd shelter. In quiet moments, by the creek, Alex traced the prosthetic seam, hole in ways were never allowed. Love, he'd learned, wasn't a battlefield one, but a truce held daily, fierce, flawed, unbreakable. The winter wind howled through Willow Creek like a scorned lover, rattling the diner windows as Alex wiped down the counter for the umpteenth time. Months had passed since the town hall reckoning, but peace felt provisional, a thin ice over churning depths. Tommy and Jamie's engagement announcement, slipped into the local paper like a dare, had sparked flickers of support amid the grumbles, old-timers muttering about changing times over their black coffee. Alex played buffer, his soldiers grinned deflecting barbs, but inside, the pull toward Tommy gnawed persistent, a secret flame he banked for his brother's sake. One sleety afternoon, as flurries danced like hesitant confetti, a stranger pushed through the door, bell jingling sharply. Tall, broad-shouldered, with a jaw carved from granite and eyes like storm clouds, he scanned the room before zeroing on Alex. "Sergeant Harlan? Name's Marcus Hale, Pastor Hale's nephew, from out west." Alex's gut clenched. The name echoed from that pivotal night, the prodigal who'd cracked his uncle's facade. Marcus extended a hand, grip firm, calloused from. What? Rodeo? Ranching? The details blurred in Alex's haze of wariness. They talked haltingly over pie. Marcus fresh from Seattle, queer scene thriving, but drawn back by a letter from his uncle. Family mends, if we let it. Turns out, Hale had reached out after the raid, confessing his silence on his own blood. Marcus's return stirred the pot. Whispers of another one, rippling through pews. Alex shared sparingly, his own entanglements locked tight. But Marcus's gaze lingered, probing. Kindred. Town like this, Marcus said, fork pausing. It chews up secrets. But yours? Feels heavier than most. That night, Alex dreamed in fragments. Desert patrols bleeding into creek banks. Tommy's laugh morphing into Marcus's timbre, hands reaching across divides he couldn't cross. He woke sweating, the prosthetic humming phantom itches, and drove to the VA for therapy. Not just physical, but the group sessions where vets spilled souls unjudged. There, amid folding chairs and styrofoam cups, he met Lena, a no-nonsense counselor with a buzz cut and tattoos peeking from her sleeves, a lesbian vet who'd lost an eye in Fallujah. Bottling it won't heal the limb. Harlan, she prodded during a one-on-one, her voice like gravel under tires. What's the real wound? He cracked then, words tumbling. The barracks longings, the fairground kiss with Tommy that blurred lines. Now this Marcus shadow complicating loyalties. Lena nodded. No pity, just steel. Love's not a zero-sum, Alex. But denial? That's the IED. Her advice stuck like shrapnel. Confront, or it festers. Back home, Jamie noticed the shift. Alex's silence is deeper, glances at the road longer. Something's eating you. Jamie pressed over dinner, Tommy's foot nudging his under the table, a private anchor. Alex deflected with a joke, but guilt coiled tighter. Spring thawed the fields, greening Willow Creek in tentative renewal. The diner buzzed with fair prep, volunteers including Marcus, who'd taken a mechanic gig at the garage, his easy charm disarming skeptics. Alex found excuses to linger. Oil changes, small talk veering philosophical, faith versus doubt, hiding versus healing. One evening, as they tinkered under the hood of Alex's truck, Marcus wiped grease from his hands, turning serious. Uncle says you saved the town that night. But who saves you? Alex's wrench slipped, clanging. The air charged, Marcus stepping closer, scent of motor oil and mint invading his space. Their lips met, fierce, unbidden, born of months' simmer. Alex pulled back gasping, heart-hammering betrayal. I can't, Jamie, Tommy. Marcus's eyes softened, no demand, just understanding. Not asking for your soul, Alex. Just a piece, if you got it spare. He walked away then, leaving Alex adrift, the truck's engine ticking cool as his resolve. Conflicts escalated subtly. Vic's remnants slithered back, petty arsons at the shelter Tommy volunteered at, graffiti on the garage, Hale's shame. Marcus bore it stoic, but Alex saw the toll, bruises from bar fights, sleep evading his eyes. Jamie, sensing undercurrents, confronted Alex in the barn, pitchforks leaning like accusations. You're pulling away. And Marcus, don't think I haven't seen the looks. Alex's denial crumbled under fraternal fire. It's not, I don't know what it is. But Tommy, that night, it was real for me too. Jamie's face crumpled, not anger, but hurt laced with revelation. I knew. Always did. But he's mine now, Alex. We built this. The words landed soft, final, yet opened a door. No hatred, just navigation of new maps. Talk to him, Jamie urged. Clear the air. We're brothers first. The conversation with Tommy came under starlit acres, Hale off their confessional. Words faltered at first, apologies tumbling, truths laid bare. Tommy listened, hand on Alex's knee, platonic now, profound. You weren't wrong to feel it. Neither was I, that moment. But paths diverge, man. Doesn't make the map invalid. Relief washed, bittersweet. They emerged allies purer, Jamie joining for a three-way hug that knit wounds unseen. But Willow Creek's underbelly stirred fiercer. A tip led Alex to the mill's ruins, a meet for Vic's holdouts, shaking down runaways. He went alone, prosthetic be damned, AR tucked in coat. Shadows shifted, voices low, until a familiar timbre. The sheriff, pocketing cash, complicit. Betrayal iced Alex's veins. He backed away silent, but a twig snapped, floodlights blinding. Chased through brambles, bullets whizzing. Alex dove, rolling into underbrush, prosthetic snagging. Pain lanced, but adrenaline propelled. He circled, tackling the deputy from blindside. Fists met flesh, grunts echoing, until Marcus materialized, wrench swinging like a halo, felling the last thug. Tracked your truck, Marcus panted, helping Alex up. Their eyes met, spark reigniting. Not complication now, but clarity. Sirens wailed distant, feds closing in on the sheriff's tip. Anonymous, Alex is doing. Dawn found them bandaged at Lena's clinic, her wry smile approving. Heroes again? Save some glory. Marcus lingered, fingers tracing Alex's scars. This time together? Summer swelled, fair redux a triumph. Rainbow pins subtle on collars, toasts to resilience. Jamie and Tommy wed in the creek shallows, Pastor Hale officiating, tears unashamed. Alex stood best man, Marcus at his side. Partners unspoken yet, but hands clasped under vows. Prejudices ebbed, not erased. A trans kid from the next county found welcome at their table, stories shared over pie. Yet depth lingered in psyche scarred. Alex's nights still echoed with ghosts, but Marcus's presence anchored. Late talks on porches, vulnerabilities traded like ammunition. You make the hiding optional, Alex murmured one eve, lips brushing. Love bloomed slow, roots deep in shared battles. In fall's gold hush, a letter arrived. From Chicago, Tommy's old haunt. A job offer for Alex, counseling queer vets nationwide. Temptation tugged, but Willow Creek, called home now, remade. He stayed, planting stakes with Marcus. A cabin by the creek, plans for adoptions, a life defying the town's old script. Twists resolved not in explosion, but exhale. Understanding over upheaval, love's quiet victories. The Harlans expanded, endured. Brothers, lovers, guardians against the night. Autumn leaves carpeted Willow Creek streets in crimson defiance, as if the town itself bled out its stubborn hues before winter's whitewash. Alex and Marcus's cabin, a fixer-upper on the outskirts, hummed with the rhythm of tentative domesticity, saws buzzing mornings, evenings lost to chess by the hearth, Marcus's laugh chasing Alex's doubts like smoke. But beneath the idol, fissures lingered, Jamie's occasional silences, heavy with the ghost of that loft confession, and Tommy's wanderlust, itching for city lights despite their rooted bliss. One crisp Saturday, as Alex hammered new siding, a pickup rumbled up, dust clouding like bad omens. Out stepped Elena Reyes, Tommy's sister, unseen since high school scandals, her face a map of city-hardened lines, eyes sharp as her brother's, but edged with accusation. Heard my brother's hitched to a Harlan, she drawled, arms crossed over a leather jacket patched with activist pins. Figured I'd see if it's trap or triumph. Alex lowered the hammer, sweat beating despite the chill. Marcus emerged wiping hands, sensing the voltage. Over coffee inside, Elena spilled. She'd tracked Tommy after the wedding notice, fresh from a rally in D.C., fighting for migrant rights that echoed their family's flight. But undercurrent ran darker. Vic's network, splintered but venomous, had tentacles in queer aid groups, doxing activists like her. They got wind of the town's little uprising. Tommy's name on lists now, traitor payout. Alex's prosthetic twinged, old instincts firing. He's safe here. We shut that down months back. Elena's laugh was thorns. Safe? This podunk? I came to pull him out, before your fairy tale buries him. The slur landed casual, cutting deep. Marcus stiffened, but Alex waved him down, years of sand-swept barbs armoring him. Call it what you want. But family? That's the line you don't cross. Tension crackled, Elena's gaze flicking between them. Partners evident in shared glances, unspoken vows. She stayed the week, thawing slow, helping at the shelter, trading war stories with Tommy over bonfires, her fire complementing his quiet steel. Bonds wove unexpected, Elena and Jamie bonding over sibling scars, her tales of underground clinics inspiring his push for a town health co-op. But conflict brewed in subtext, her warnings of bigger storms, Vic's bosses regrouping in Cleveland, targeting soft targets, like Willow Creek's nascent acceptance. Alex wrestled insomnia, pacing the cabin's creaky floors while Marcus slept sound. Lena's sessions dug deeper. You're the fixer, Alex. But what's left when the fight's family? Revelations surfaced, his father's letters from Nam, tucked in attic boxes, hinting at love's unspoken, a queer vein in Harlan blood he'd ignored. He knew. Alex breathed to Marcus one dawn, papers yellowed in hand. Hit it better than me. Marcus pulled him close, breath warm. Then honor it, live loud. The blow fell swift. A fire at the shelter, midnight blaze gutting the nursery wing, acrid smoke choking the stars. No injuries. Tommy's quick thinking evacuating the kids, but intent screamed. A Molotov through the window, note pinned to a charred teddy. Cleanse or burn. Willow Creek reeled, emergency town meeting packed tighter than a foxhole. Hale thundered forgiveness, but eyes turned accusatory on the agitators, the Harlans and Hales who'd invited chaos. Jamie cracked first, slamming fists on the podium. This ain't outsiders. It's us, scared of mirrors. Cheers mixed with boos, Elena rising beside him, megaphone in hand from her rally kit. Fears the arsonist. We've got names, proof, Fed task force inbound. Chaos swirled, but Alex spotted the snake. A face in the back, deputy crony of the old sheriff, smirking. He slipped out, Marcus trailing, tracking the man to the mill's shadow. Confrontation exploded in moonlight. Alex pinning the thug against rusted beams, Marcus covering flanks. Who pulls your strings? Alex growled, forearm to throat. The man spat defiance. Russo's ghost says hi. Before a whistle pierced, feds swarming from vans, badges flashing. Elena's contacts, paying dividends. Cuffs clicked, confessions tumbling. A remnant cell, funded by Hate Mills Online, targeting woke towns for sport. Aftermath rippled profound. The shelter rebuilt stronger, donations pouring from unlikely wells, VFW checks, church ladies' quilts. Elena stayed, opening a legal aid outpost, her edge softening into alliance. But personal tempests raged. Tommy, shaken, confessed to Jamie his pull toward D.C., the fight calling louder than roots. Not leaving you, he vowed, tears silver. But expanding us. Jamie's nod came hard-won, growth's bitter fruit. Alex faced his own precipice. A Fed recruiter approached post-raid. Your intel's gold. Harlan. Desk in Columbus, coordinating queer vet programs. Temptation Ward. Adventure Sand. Purpose amplified. Marcus, sensing, cornered him by the creek. Go if it calls. I'll follow, or wait. Love ain't stationary. The kiss that followed sealed it. Fierce, affirming, a pact beyond geography. Winter returned gentler, snow blanketing sins. Jamie and Tommy jetted to D.C. weekends, weaving activism into vows. Elena mentored runaways, her laughter echoing at family suppers. Alex accepted the post, commuting with Marcus trailing for visits, their cabin a beacon. Prejudices persisted, slurs scrawled on Elena's truck, Hale's sermons tested, but resilience flowered. Pride walks in the square, subtle but swelling. Depths plumbed yielded grace. Alex pinned letters to his father's ghost, forgiving hidings, claiming inheritance. In quiet, with Marcus's head on his chest, he whispered, whole now. Twists resolved in tendrils, not knots, relationships evolving, town a mosaic mending. Spring bloomed defiant, Willow Creek's fields echoing with new songs. Summer heat baked Willow Creek into a simmering cauldron, the air thick with cicada symphonies and the undercurrent of unresolved reckonings. Alex's Columbus commutes stretched days into marathons, his VA office a hive of case files and coffee stains, coordinating safe houses for vets fleeing shadows of self. Marcus held the cabin fort, grease monkey days blending into Elena's legal drills, their bond a quiet forge against isolation. But distance gnawed. Nights when Alex returned bone-tired, Marcus's welcome kiss tasting of unspoken strains. One sweltering July eve, as thunderheads bruised the horizon, a call shattered the routine. Jamie's voice edged panic. Tommy's gone. DC trip, but he didn't check in. Elena's networks say whispers of a setup. Alex's blood iced. Vic's specter, dormant, rearing fangs. He raced home, scooping Marcus, tires screaming toward the city. Elena met them at a nondescript cafe, face grim, laptop open to encrypted chats. Tommy snatched at a rally, bait for high-profile extraction. Ransom tied to exposing the town's deviants dossier, photos and logs from the shelter fire. Fury propelled them. Alex leveraging Fed contacts. Marcus hot-wiring a contacts van for stakeout. Elena hacking trails. Tension coiled familial. Arguments flaring in motel rooms. Alex snapping at Marcus's wrists. This ain't your war. Marcus's retort cut. It's ours, if you let it. Vulnerability cracked armor. In the dim lamp glow, Marcus confessed roots. Disowned at 18, bouncing Foster to streets. Hale's letter a lifeline he'd clutched tentative. You make home possible, Alex. Don't shut me out. They traced Tommy to a warehouse fringe, guards patrolling like wolves. Plan hatched desperate. Elena distracting with feigned delivery. Alex and Marcus infiltrating vents. Soldier stealth married to mechanic cunning. Heartbeats thundered in the ducts, sweat slicking grips, until they dropped into gloom. Tommy bound to a chair, bruised but defiant, eyes flaring recognition. Knew you'd come, cavalry. Rescue blurred into frenzy. Zip ties snapped. Guards felled with improvised clubs, alarms wailing. Bullets pinged. Alex shoving Tommy behind crates. Marcus covering fire with pilfered pistol. A stray shot grazed Alex's shoulder. Hot bloom. But they burst into night. Van pealing with sirens chorus. Feds swarmed. Per Elena's tip. Vic's lieutenant cuffed mid-snarl. The dossier incinerated in panic. Safe house haze followed. Tommy patched. Jamie arriving tear-streaked. Embraces crushing. Gratitude morphed confession. Tommy admitting the pull wasn't just cause, but escape from Willow Creek's claustrophobia. Need space to breathe, without dragging you under. Jamie's nod ached growth. Then we build bridges, not walls. Elena, ever sentinel, vowed deeper embeds in the networks, turning hunter to shield. Alex's wound mended slow, forcing desk rest, but revelations accelerated. Lena's remote sessions peeled layers. Hero complex masks fear of loss. Harlan. Marcus, he's not casualty waiting. Letters to Tommy bridged the rift. Fraternal now, laced with Marcus's influence. Permission to love without possession. Back in the cabin, scars fresh, Alex pulled Marcus to the porch swing. You're my constant. Fights and all. Their lovemaking that night was tender thunder, reclaiming amid storms weathered. Fall harvested bounties bittersweet. The town rallied post-kidnapping. Fundraisers for the shelter. Hale's sermon on prodigals returned, drawing sniffles. But prejudices morphed sly. School board debates on family values curricula, sidelining Elena's talks. Jamie countered, organizing parent forums, his diner a neutral ground for dialogues prickly but pioneering. Personal ebbs crested. Marcus proposed under harvest moon. Ring simple silver etched with coordinates. The creeks. Alex's yes trembled joy. Vows planned small, intimate. Yet doubt whispered. His father's legacy, a cautionary echo. He unearthed more letters. Dad's hand admitting a lover lost to silence. Urging sons. Live truths I couldn't. Catharsis flooded. Shared with Marcus over whiskey. Bond stealing. Winter whispered warnings anew. A new face arrived. Riley, a non-binary teen from the next county, fleeing conversion whispers, crashing Elena's outpost. Their story mirrored all. Family fracture, town exile. But Riley's fire sparked innovation. Art workshops at the shelter, murals reclaiming walls. Alex mentored, seeing his younger self, prosthetic no barrier to connection. Climax simmered at the winter solstice fair, lights twinkling defiance. Protests brewed, outsiders bust in, hate signs clashing with locals' quiet stands. Alex and Marcus patrolled fringes, hands linked subtle when Riley vanished mid-song. Panic surged, tracks to the woods, a holdout cell's last gasp. They plunged in, flashlights cutting fog, calls echoing. Branches clawed, breaths ragged, until Alex spotted the flicker. Riley cornered, taunts flying. Charge ignited. Marcus tackling the ringleader. Alex shielding Riley, fists and pleas mingling. Feds again, tipped by Jamie's vigilance, hauling the scum. Riley emerged shaking, but eyes alight. You saw me. Afterglow brought unity. The fair closed with a circle. Hale's, Harlan's, Reyes's, Riley chanting resilience. Prejudices cracked wider, dialogues deepening. Alex's book of dad's letters circulated quietly, seeds of empathy. Spring unfurled hopeful. Willow Creek a tapestry threading stronger. Tommy and Jamie split time DC home. Elena's firm expanding, Riley thriving in college scouts. Alex and Marcus wed in the cabin, vows echoing Dad's unspoken, love fierce, free. Depths navigated yielded horizons, twists not endings, but evolutions eternal. The first robin's trill pierced Willow Creek's spring symphony, a fragile herald against the scars of seasons past. Alex and Marcus's marriage, etched in wildflower vows and creekside toasts, had woven them tighter into the town's warp, their cabin a nexus for strays and stalwarts alike. Jamie helmed the diner expansions, fusion menus nodding to Elena's Latin roots, while Tommy's remote advocacy bridged rural voids to urban fires. Riley, now 16 and fierce, apprenticed under Elena, their non-binary banner a quiet revolution in board meetings. Yet harmony hid harmonics of unrest. One verdant May morning, as Alex sifted VA reports in the cabin's nook, a knock yielded Pastor Hale, hat in hand, face furrowed like plowed earth. "Need your counsel, son," he rumbled, settling uneasily. Over tea, confessions cascaded, his health failing, church schisms brewing over inclusivity initiatives, whispers of a splinter faction courting fundamentalists from afar. "Feels like losing my flock, to fear I helped sow." Alex's soldier heart stirred. Hale, once pillar of judgment, now supplicant. Marcus joined, his mechanic's pragmatism tempering. "Start small, sermons on prodigal kin. Invite Riley to speak." Hale nodded, tentative, but eyes gleamed spark. The alliance bloomed improbable. Weekly strategy huddles in the church basement, Alex facilitating like briefings, Elena drafting bylaws for queer youth programs. Pushback mounted, anonymous pamphlets decrying Harlan heresy, pews emptying to a rival chapel bankrolled by outsiders. Summer solstice sizzled tensions to boil. The fair, now Unity Fest, drew crowds diverse, pride flags fluttering beside flags of valor, booths blending funnel cake with falafel. Alex emceed, mic in hand, prosthetic gleaming under lights, Marcus's arm a steady anchor. But midway through, discord detonated, a stage rush by the splinter group's leader, Brother Elias, a firebrand transplant with bullhorn venom. This den of Sodom mocks God's order. Repent or raise. Pandemonium, shoves, shouts, a bottle shattering. Alex vaulted the stage, mic rested, voice booming deployment command. "Enough. Willow Creek's fought wars. Ours, yours. Stand down or face real reckonings." Elias sneered, but Hale materialized. Hand on shoulder, Bible open to parables of mercy. Standoff teetered, until Riley stepped forward, voice clear as chapel bells. "I was the outcast. You cast me further. But here, they caught me." Silence fell, profound. Elias faltered, flock murmuring dissent. Feds lingered post-scuffle. Elias's backers traced to Vic's laundered funds, a final coil unwound. Arrests rippled, the rival chapel shuddering. Victory tasted ash-sweet. Hale's health rallied, sermons shifting to bridges, his flocks swelling with returnees. Personal currents swirled deeper. Tommy announced a pregnancy, surrogacy via Elena's networks, a child to root their dual lives. Jamie's joy overflowed, but shadows flickered, nightmares of abductions haunting. Therapy unearthed buried traumas from youth's hidings. Alex sat vigils, brotherly as ever, Marcus's presence a balm. "We're the net now," Alex murmured, hands clasped across divides. Marcus's depths surfaced in autumn gales. A garage client, grizzled vet, cornered him post-oil change, heard you're shacked with the queer soldier. Shame on Hale blood. Fist fight ensued, knuckles bloodied, Marcus's restraint fracturing. Back home, Ison swelling, he unraveled to Alex. "Thought I outran the hate. But it's marrow deep." Alex held him through shudders, their love a forge refiring. Lena's group expanded to include Marcus, circles widening healing. Winter wove introspection. Cabin holidays brimmed. Riley's murals adorning walls, Elena's tamales steaming, Tommy's belly rounding under Jamie's tender gaze. Gifts exchanged held weight. Alex gifting Marcus a locket with Dad's photo, inscribed "Truths Told." Tears fell, bonds burnished. Climax crested New Year's Eve, blizzard blanketing revels. A call pierced the cheer. Elias, escaped custody, Hold in the mill with hostages. Church elders, bait for purge. Alex mobilized, fed chopper inbound, but time bled. He and Marcus snowmobiled fringes, Elena coordinating drones, Jamie barricading town edges. Infiltration chilled to bone. Mill's cavern echoing pleas, Elias ranting scripture twisted. Alex signaled Marcus flank, whispers coordinating assault. Breach exploded, smoke grenades blooming, tackles swift. Alex faced Elias, gun trembling in madman's grip. Ends here. Alex growled, disarming with prosthetic leverage, a irony poignant. Feds swarmed, elders freed, Elias cuffed whimpering. Dawn gilded triumph. Willow Creek exhaled collective. Unity Fest reborn as annual rite. Hail, from hospital bed, bless the dawn. We've turned swords to shares. Spring cycled renewal profound. The child arrived. Luz Elena Harlan Reyes, wailing promise. Alex and Marcus adopted Riley officially. Cabin expanding to nursery whimsy. Prejudices paled to footnotes, dialogues default. Yet psyches layered eternal. Alex journaling for Luz, legacies unbroken. Twists transcended, love's narrative ever unfolding. Summer sun gilded Willow Creek's rebirth, fields waving like banners of truce. The Harlan Hale clan swelled with Luz's gurgles, Riley's teen quips, Elena's barbs softening to mentorship. Alex's VA role evolved to national webinars, voices like his amplifying from fringes. Marcus opened a co-op garage, training vets in trades, his hands calloused with purpose anew. But under sun-dappled calm, a whisper stirred, a letter from Elias's kin, not venom, but plea, seeking understanding post-sentencing, a brother's hidden queerness unearthed. Alex penned reply measured, Lena guiding. Forgive to free, not forget. Ripples spread, town forums inviting exiles' tales, bridges tentative but tending. Jamie navigated fatherhood's tides, Luz's cries echoing his own buried cries. Therapy unveiling conversion camp echoes from youth. Tommy anchored, their DC weekends now family jaunts, advocacy laced with lullabies. One eve, over Creekside picnic, Jamie confessed to Alex. Thought love was scarcity. Now, abundance. Hugs sealed, fraternal eternal. Marcus and Alex's anniversary dawned stormy, but cleared to Rainbow Arc cabin vows renewed. Rings exchanged amid wildflowers. Luz cooing witness. Depth plumbed, Marcus admitting wanderlust remnants. Alex fears of inadequacy. Were the storm and shelter, Marcus vowed. Kiss ceiling. Climax whispered soft. A national doc crew filming Willow Creek's arc. Riley starring. Tales raw. Pushback minimal. Old guards grumbling. But youth absorbing. Murals multiplying. Winter wrapped wisdom. Holidays hummed harmony. Gifts intangible. Forgiveness letters circulated. Hale's recovery toasting. Luz's first steps on cabin floors. Family chorus cheering. Spring spiraled forward. Town a beacon, beacons within blooming. Love's drama, resolved in rhythms enduring. Eternal cycles turned Willow Creek's wheel, years blurring into tapestries of trial and tenderness. Luz toddled into mischief, her Reyes Harlan curls bouncing defiance, while Riley navigated college apps, non-binary identity a compass true. Alex's webinars reached thousands, vets finding voices in his measured timbre. Marcus's garage thrived, apprentices blooming from ashes. Elena's firm litigated landmarks, Tommy and Jamie's home a haven for foster kin. Yet life's script demanded encores. A decade on, Hale's passing left voids, funeral thronged, eulogies weaving judgment to grace. Alex spoke, voice steady. He bent when bending mattered most. Schisms healed, church a mosaic enduring. Personal tempests revisited. Alex's prosthetic upgrade unearthed phantom wars, PTSD flaring in fireworks boom. Marcus held vigils, their love seasoned, unyielding. Jamie faced empty nest pangs as Luz flew to schools queer-friendly, his diner legacy passing to Riley's innovations. Climax crested subtle, a reunion bash for Vic survivors, global now, Willow Creek Center. Ghosts gathered, stories swapped, scars badges. A twist, Elias, paroled reformed, attending humble, amends murmured. Forgiveness flowed, not forced, but felt. Depths eternal, psyche's layered light. Love's saga, unending, overcoming, ever.